Can anybody explain to me what is black metal? Satan.
What's up guys, welcome back to another episode of asktuggtv. So with the coronavirus spreading around, I hope all of you are at home and safe. It's been a pretty difficult couple of weeks / months depending on where you are, but I hope you sort of soldiered on, and hopefully this coronavirus thing is under control / the curve has flattened, and we're really hoping that things get better. As part of a new thing that we started every month, we sort of have the show called #asktuggtv, where we take questions from you and have them answered. The plan is to go ahead and continue this. However, since we are in quarantine at the moment, it kind of is difficult for the both of us to go ahead and film. As a result of which, we are still doing asktuggtv. However, we are going to change the format a little bit until this quarantine is over. So Vishesh and myself have sort of bifurcated some of your questions, and we are going to have them answered over here. So I'm going to answer a couple, and then Vishesh is going to answer a couple. Of course, we've just hit 2,000 subscribers, so we have to say thank you so much for the love and support that you've been giving us. And of course, thank you for pouring in all that questions. Continue to have them coming to us. You can let us know if you have any questions at all in the comment section below, or you can hit us up on our other social media handles. So, without any further ado, let's get into the quarantine edition of #asktuggtv.
Please make a listing of the guitar brands in India based on quality, like Tier 1, Tier 2 and Tier 3. So Sujay, I'm not completely sure if you're trying to ask us to kind of make a listing of the Indian manufacturers in the different tiers, or are you asking us to make the tiers out of all the international brands per se? But either ways, I'll tell you my opinion on this one. There isn't anything which is more of a tier-based system when it comes to guitars, because let's face it, every company gives you offerings which are more focused towards the beginners, which is your entry level, and for your seasoned players, which is going to be your top of the line equipment. You pretty much cannot kind of put them all in the same league, because each one of them has its own advantages and disadvantages. So it's better to kind of go to the shop, pick up the guitar which you kind of are inspired by, kind of play it, see if it's something that suits your playing style, and then go for it.
Enchanting Euphoria asks, best cabinet speakers for metal apart from the vintage 30s. So I believe Celestion's G12 creamback and greenback are good options in my personal opinion, but I also hear that Jensen and Eminence are also pretty good. So those are some options for you to consider.
Your thoughts on the LTD MT130 and the Zoom G1 X4? Now the combination of the guitar and processor, what you're talking about, is actually one which is pretty well suited for any of the beginners out there. The ESP LTD M130 is one of the newer models which was released, I think, probably say 2 years back. Trust me, it's a pretty versatile guitar that all of you beginners out there can start off with. The pickups aren't all that great, but the playability of the guitar certainly is. So pickups are something that you can always change along the way, so it's not that big of an issue. And coming to the processor, the Zoom, it's a pretty good one for especially the price range what it's going for. For your bedroom act and probably say smaller gigs, it should be okay. But if you're somebody who's trying to look more into playing bigger gigs, I would suggest you pick up a better processor.
Okay, so before I answer the rapid fire, I have to disclaim that some of the questions you've asked, man, they're awesome, but it's like asking me to choose who's my favorite kid, so it really was a little difficult. Don't judge me for this, but here goes. Trivium or Sepultura? I'm gonna say Sepultura, specifically the Cavalera era. Death or Brutal Death? Brutal Death. Prog or Thrash? Thrash. Metallica or Megadeth? Megadeth. MXR pedals or Boss pedals? Definitely Boss pedals, man. Mesa Boogie or Marshall? Mesa Boogie in my case. Music Man Sterling or Ibanez JEM? I'm gonna go with the Ibanez JEM because I've played it.
Trivium or Sepultura? Sepultura all the way. Old Sepultura, not the new one. Death or Brutal Death? Death. Prog or Thrash? Thrash. Metallica or Megadeth? Dude, Megadeth. Any given day. MXR pedals or Bose pedals? Tough one, but MXR pedals just by an inch. Yeah, but Bose is really good as well. Mesa Boogie or Marshall? Mesa Boogie. no questions. Music Man Sterling or Ibanez Gem? Ibanez Gem.
Bass Boy asks, few of your favorite guitar shapes. My favorite guitar shapes in order of preference: soloist, Les Paul, Flying V, in that order.
So when you're talking about shapes of the guitar, there are two which I absolutely love. The first one has to be the wall lock shape. This is an ESP. I love the shape, but then BC Riches didn't have all that good of a playability, so I went with an ESP. Second one has to be the Flying V.
Your most influential metal guitarists? I mean, I have a lot of influences outside of metal as well. I would like to say I'm influenced a lot by David Gilmour and even Gary Moore. But since you ask specifically metal, one of my heaviest influences is without doubt Dave Mustaine, because I am a rhythm guitarist and that's sort of how I like to play my rhythm sections and riffs. Apart from that, I also draw a lot of inspiration from Mark Morton and Mick Thompson. And Chuck Schuldiner, of course, just to name a few.
So when it comes to the most influential guitarists who have played part in my guitar playing, I think this is a bit of a difficult question, but yeah. The foundation of it has always been laid by Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath, Dave Mustaine from Megadeth, yes, all three guitarists from Iron Maiden, and KK Downing's riffs from Judas Priest. Yeah, a bit more than Glenn Tipton, but yeah, I mean, this is the basics.
Does it Djent? Yeah, I think it does.
Isn't David Ellefson underrated? I'm somebody who completely agrees to that statement. Dave Ellefson is one of the most underrated metal bassists out there. He's one of these players who's got really strong bass lines, kind of gets overshadowed just because of the fact that Dave Mustaine is part of the band. If anybody has any questions or anything towards why is he one of the best players, I strongly suggest you look at Megadeth's first 4 albums.
Vikram Keshav asks, thoughts on the Yamaha TRBX 500 series? What do you think about the active and passive pickups on a bass guitar? Hey Vikram, firstly, if I had upwards of 50,000 rupees, I would definitely, consider going for the Yamaha TRBX 500. If not anything, if I had 30,000 rupees, I actually might consider going for the 300 series or the TRBX 305. I think that's what it is. Yamaha has been around in the market for quite some time and they have been making some extremely good quality guitars, be it acoustics, electrics, or even basses. So there is no reason for you to not consider this brand. The high point for me in the TRBX series is the 3-band and 5-band EQ options respectively, which, long story short, give you the ability to have passive and active sounds, which makes it the absolute all-rounder and an extremely versatile option when it comes to bass. But keep in mind, for the money that you're spending, you do have other options as well. You have the likes of Schecter, you have the likes of Fender, Ibanez. You can also go ahead and look at some select models of Warwick as well. I mean, it comes down to what you want. You either want one bass that does it all, in which case the TRBX actually is a good option, or you might want one bass which does one specific job damn well. So that's what you're gonna have to pick and choose from. Coming to the second part of your question, actives or passives, I think this can be defined by the tone that you are looking for. Passives have a slightly warmer and rounder tone as compared to actives, which actually have a hotter tone. On the other hand, actives are components which are going to require electronics, which means they require batteries, and a passive, on the other hand, is just plug and play. And since there are no electronics or batteries to boost the signal, personally, one thing I've observed in passive pickups is that it gives you the more organic sound, and you can, to a certain extent, pick up on the tonal qualities of the wood itself. So depending on what kind of wood your bass is made of, the passives will have a very unique organic tone. And with that, we come to the end of another episode. I know the format of this is a little different, but that's because we are in quarantine. Once this lockdown is over, hopefully things will go back to normal. I know we are gonna have some level of new normal. We'll see how it goes. As on date is the 4th of April when I shot this. We're in lockdown, at least for the next 7 days. Give this video a thumbs up if you like what you see, subscribe to our channel, and until next time, stay safe, stay indoors guys. This is TUGGtv signing off. Stay metal.